What's up, brother?
Hey, what's happening, man? How's it going? How's it going, everyone? I don't even know who's here. I'm not on the comments. All
Oh,
right,
yeah.
we've got our usual suspects down there. How's it going, Gray? Good to see you, brother.
No, I'm doing good, man. Yeah, I think when you just have StreamYard open.
I've got my YouTube background open. That's about it. And
Okay.
StreamYard, obviously.
Well, yeah. No, I'm just saying because Yarn keeps on emailing me about, or not emailing, Instagramming me that she can't tag you because usually you have to be like in the live stream technically, like a live stream window or something popped up like I have over here that's muted for her to tag you. But that being said, folks,
I
in
don't
the
even know what
description.
that means.
In the
That's how
description,
technical I am.
yeah, in the description, for now every time I do these with Rudy on my channel, there'll be a link that says if you're not subscribed to Alaska Prepper, there'll be a link there to click on his channel, so it'll take you directly to his channel. Because since we bounce back and forth, you'll be able to find his channel relatively easy that way. So his link will be down in the description right after the little couple sentences that I have about the live stream. If you guys for some reason can't find AP, which if you can, I don't know what all you have to do is type in Alaska Prepper and you're bound to find him one way or another. So
Hey, there you go. Nostradamus asked me if this is about a hot sauce over here. Yeah, one of our awesome community members sent me this 32-ounce bottle of Louisiana hot sauce. I love this stuff.
That's like liquid gold, man.
Oh man, I love this stuff. And this is not something that is going to stay full. Like once I get done with my other bottles, I'll start dipping into that.
Well, thank you all for joining us, man. All the mods, thank you for being here. We truly appreciate you guys following me and Rudy bouncing from channel to channel every Monday night. So thank you all. Before we get into today's topic, I was telling Rudy I kind of wanted to. It's not really a rant. I don't know if it's a rant or not, but some funny stuff happened over the last week. I feel like I want to do this like every once in a while. I want to do like funniest comment of the week or the month or whatever, because I got a couple of fun comments that I wanted to discuss. Two specifically. One was my favorite one, which kind of made me laugh. And as I told people throughout the week at where I work at and stuff like that, they thought it was pretty funny too. It was on my video about pantry prepper or pantry tips, or don't make these pantry mistakes or something to that extent like that, right? And this guy writes, who did this backwoods redneck hillbilly think he is, and how does he know anything? And I thought to myself, do I really look like a backwoods hillbilly redneck? I mean, it makes me feel kind of good, man. I don't know. Maybe that's how I want to look, man.
That's awesome, man.
I thought it was the funniest thing ever. I couldn't stop laughing, man. And I had to share it with all my friends, and they were like, well, that's a new one for you, Gray. And I'm like, yeah, I guess it's YouTube, man. Just got to love that kind of stuff like that. The other one was on one of my older videos of one of the solar power stations, they were saying something like, look at this right-wing guy promoting Chinese products or something like that. I'm like, woohoo, I'm right-wing. I guess I get the proper persona off, you know? And last but not least, I've gone over this a couple of times, and I wanted to get a little bit more intrigued. This one guy just recently, maybe a half hour ago, I did a video. A lot of you folks remember Temu. I did this video about 4 months ago, and I guess YouTube has decided to push it and push it and push it, and it's not gone viral, but it's gotten more views than I expected it to ever get. And this one guy says, nope to Temu. I will stop. I will not use it because of Chinese spyware or something like that. And I thought it was kind of funny because I have myself went down this deep rabbit hole in regards to China and regards to spyware and all that stuff like that. And I don't know how many people are watching this video right now from your phone, but I just want to share one tidbit of information. I decided to find out if Chinese electronics or gear was inside, Apple and Samsung and stuff like that. And come to find out, it says almost every smartphone brand uses Chinese equipment or parts made in China because they have low-cost labor, a good infrastructure, and most companies have the manufacturing plants in China. There are some companies which design their own in their own country, but manufacture them in China. So that little phone that you have in your hand might have a Chinese spyware secret device listening to all your conversations.
Yeah, it does.
So
they all do.
So no matter if it's Temu, Shein, Amazon, Harbor Freight, Walmart, China Mart, whatever you guys want to do, man, there's no way for getting away from the Chinese country and their products. So, uh,
I mean,
I,
we were sold out a long time ago. The United States of America was sold out a long time ago. I would not contest that even your appliances have malware in them or some kind of wear in them that allows, someone somewhere to listen to what you're saying and to know how you're using that appliance, how much energy you're using on it, et cetera, et cetera. I have no doubt whatsoever that if you buy a brand new refrigerator or washer or dryer or something like that, that is going to have something in it that will allow someone somewhere to know things about you that you don't think that appliance would let someone know about you. So, yeah.
well, I hope these people continue to use their Chinese keyboard to write dumb comments. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I mean, and the thing is you can't get away from it. It is what it is. It is the internet. It is what we sign up for when we decide to
Absolutely
do what we do here on the internet. So it just is what it is. And, the funny thing is that every once in a while, I try my best to find something that's comparable, that's made in the United States of America 100%, right?
Mm-hmm.
And to see, is this comparable to this product? And I'll give you one example because it's the one that I know the best. And there's more than one. There's not just one, but I try to find a solar generator because, I love solar generators. I try to find one that's made in the US. And guess what, Gray? I did. I found a solar generator that's made 100% in the US with US parts, with a
Really?
US made battery. Yep, all of it. I forget the name of it, and even if I remember, I probably wouldn't say it because I really don't have too much good to say about it except that it's made in the US. And this is what I mean. I'm not talking down on anyone who becomes an entrepreneur and wants to pursue the American dream by making something that they're passionate about and then selling it to someone for a certain price. I'm not at all. But when I looked at this solar generator, it probably weighed about 110 pounds. All right. It came with an AGM battery, which is a lead acid battery that instead of having water or liquid inside, it has like a gel, which is good. It doesn't gas off. It's a good battery, but it's a lead acid battery. It maybe has 400 to 500 cycles before it has to be replaced. So it was about 1,200 or either 1,200 or 1,600 watt hours, which is not bad for one AGM battery. Okay. Let's see. It had an inverter of 1,000 watts, meaning that you can run it for 1,000 watts continuous. And then it had an MPPT, I think it's called. I always forget that part's name. The part
You're right.
that, or a charge controller that allowed a charge controller that allows you to charge it with solar at a rate of like 200 watts per hour. Okay. Now, everything that I'm describing to you right now, you can find in my Opus 1200. Where is it? It's on the floor down there, right there in the floor. Here.
Thank you, Lori.
It's on the floor down there. Everything that I just mentioned, you can find in an Opus 1200, but let's say an Opus 1800. You can find everything I just mentioned from that unit. Well, with the exception that the Opus 1800 is not made in the United States. It's made in China, where about 99% of all solar generators are made, literally, okay? But that Opus 1800, not only does it output more wattage on a continuous basis, all right, not only does it have a LiFePO battery, which gives you about 3,500 recharge cycles instead of 400 to 500 like an AGM. Not only does it only weigh about 30 pounds or so instead of 110 pounds, right? But it only cost about $600. You know how much that other solar generator cost that I started talking about? $2,600, Gray.
Thank you.
So
2,600 bucks.
2,600. And like I said, I'm not talking bad about an entrepreneur that wants to find his way and get the American dream. That's what it's all about. But what person, any person, would choose to buy something that is of less quality, that will last a lesser amount of time, and that cost about 4 times more than something else that's going to give you the same service. You know, it's like people are not going to do it. Someone's not going to buy that unit for $2,600 when they can buy one that does a better job and lasts longer for $600, no matter where it's made. You know,
Thank you, Penny.
I've looked at companies where they make reverse osmosis filtration systems. I think everyone in the United States ought to have one. Very important, right? Every family ought to have one. And I compared it to the one that I'm affiliated with, Simpure. Yep, they're made in China, ladies and gentlemen. But the thing is that the average person out there is not going to spend between $800 and $1,200 for an RO system that does the exact same thing that an RO system from Simpure does for 120 bucks. They're not going to pay 10 times more for it if they have the opportunity. And that's why I've always said that competition is great because the consumer wins. However, the American producer, the American manufacturer is at a very big disadvantage. Why? Because of government regulations. You know, the American manufacturer, someone that wants to build here in America, there's so many regulations that you got to get around, and you have to know somebody that knows somebody so that you can even get off to a start. That they start to lose as soon as they open a business. So until these things change and we can bring back manufacturing to the United States of America, where we can actually compete, you know, with everyone else around the world, then, you know, maybe we'll start seeing a shift on more products being made here in the United States than, you know, than outside of our borders, unfortunately.
I mean, you gave it a pretty thorough thing here. Someone had asked me this question, and me and you might have talked about this thing before, in regards to our China's economy and our economy together. And what if America stopped buying Chinese products and just started, doing their own thing? Would it destroy China's economy? And I found some information that I thought was kind of interesting. I'll read it real quick to you, brother, and to the viewers as well. It says, while the two countries have a great deal of influence over their respective economies, they have more trade partners than each other. Although U.S. imports more goods from China than any other country and exports more of its own goods to China, the country does not have enough power over China's economy to collapse if it stops buying Chinese goods. In 2021, China, the top exporter in the world, had 19% of its GDP tied to the exports. However, not all the exports were made to the U.S. Only about 1/6 of them made it to the U.S. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, well, the thing is that the Belt and excuse me, I'm not sure if you know about the Belt and Road Initiative that China's been working on for years now. Is going to put about it's like a trade route. The Belt and Road Initiative is like a trade route.
Okay,
have you heard about that, Grey?
Yeah, okay. Yes.
Okay, so they've been working on this for years with the eastern side of the world. Now, once they have that route done, it's going to be about 75% of the world's population. All right, that's going to be participating in that. Now, when they first started working on that, if I remember correctly, because it's been a while, they asked the United States if they wanted to be part of it, and the United States said no. And now when you start putting the pieces of the puzzle together, we've got the BRICS nations, which right now sits at about 10 nations, the BRICS nations, right? Or the BRICS bloc. Right, sits at about 10 nations. It was going to be 11, but Argentina backed out for now when its new president came to be, which I'm fine with because they're supposed to do whatever they want to be. They're a sovereign nation, so good for them if that's what they want to do, right? But right now, just with 10 nations, Grey, it comes up to be about 40-50% of the world's population. That's just with 10 nations. Now, and right now there's about 120 or so nations that have applied to be part of the BRICS bloc. Now, when that happens, do you really think that China is going to need to trade with us? Man, I'll tell you what, China is going to start dumping at a faster and faster rate. The closer we get to that point, the faster that China will start dumping its U.S. treasuries. And the worth less that the dollar will become because those treasuries are not really in demand right now around the world. I think that the Federal Reserve will end up buying eventually most, if not all, of the government debt that the government has to borrow in order to keep, operating. And
Right.
I understand some people will say, well, the Federal Reserve can't buy it. No, they don't directly buy it. What happens is that when the government puts out an auction for either, 3-month, 5-year, 10-year, 20-year, 30-year debt, when they put out an auction for treasury bonds, what happens is whatever they can't not sell in the open market, whatever they can't sell because people just aren't interested in it, the banks have to buy it. When the banks buy those, then what happens is the Federal Reserve turns around, they print money out of thin air, and they buy them from the banks, making the banks whole. And then inflation takes over. The more that they do that, the more inflationary it is. So eventually, I believe that the Federal Reserve will pretty much buy just about all of the debt that the federal government produces just to stay afloat.
Roger that. Speaking of that, since we're talking about that kind of stuff like that, there was a comment a little while ago that I wrote down. I didn't write the person who left the comment, but they were like, "What is your thoughts on Jacob Rothschild's death? Being that he was like the head banker kind of guy."
My thoughts, I don't really care. I mean,
It's
I don't have any thoughts. The system by which we are governed financially is a lot bigger than one person. I guess I could say.
I know why the person made that comment and stuff like that, but it's almost like a hydra. Just because you cut off one head or one head dies or whatever happens, there's always someone waiting, to take that position and keep everything rolling the way it is. So that's how I look at it personally.
Yeah, the system is going to continue to roll. I mean, we have a system that needs to have debt increasing all the time. As soon as we cannot produce any more debt, the system will start to implode. That's why our economy hasn't been doing that great here for the last bit, because it's been deflationary. A lot of money has been coming out of the system. If you take a look at the M2 money supply, which is kind of like the money that's in the system to include your change in your pocket and your dollar bills in your pocket, it's been going down. And that's deflationary. And deflation is the worst thing that governments want. It's like one of the things they fear the most is deflation. I would say that they fear stagflation even more than deflation. But yeah, I mean, the system is going to continue to go until it implodes or until it is changed to a different system.
Roger that, brother. I appreciate all the information you share with that. And I'm glad that how that my little mini, I don't know if you want to call it a mini rant, but my little, funness.
That wasn't even close to a rant. I thought you learned something from me by now, Grey, on how to do a proper rant.
No, I love the rant you did last week on your channel. That was phenomenal. That was like the best
remember
rant.
What rant that was.
It was a Trump derangement syndrome.
Oh, yeah. Orange man bad thing. Yeah.
That was phenomenal.
I mean, I think everything I said during that rant was true, though.
Oh, I agree wholeheartedly.
Anything out of there that was, taken out of context and that wasn't true. It's like, hey, did you watch? I'm not sure if you watched the video that I put out today, but I saw a video about the president of El Salvador, and that he just got reelected to office with an 84% majority, which is pretty much incredible. And man, if you have not watched the video, you don't have to watch the one that I did, because I did kind of like a reaction or a commentary on part of his speech, which in my opinion was great. But if you go and click on my video that I did, on a pinned comment, the original video that shows the full speech, which is like 20 something minutes long, is there. Man, go watch that video. It will inspire you to think that we still have hope. There is still hope. If a little country like El Salvador can get out of the depths of hell that they've been living for the last 5-6 decades because of globalism, then there's definitely a chance for these United States of America to not have to enter, into what they've been going through for the last several decades and then have to get out of it. It's pretty inspiring to me.
So rants need to be about the truth to be good. I agree. Was that the first thing that will happen now? Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me pause this real quick. Let me find that. Where's Kitsy Witsy at? Thank you, Kitsy Witch. He says, thanks, GreyMan Prepping in Alaska. My question was that, what's the first thing that will happen now that Rothschild passed away? I appreciate the mention anyway. Blessings.
I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. And that's the thing. That's the great thing, Gray. And Kitsy, thank you for the question. But you know what the great thing about being prepared is that you don't have to care what happens. You know what I mean? Like, for example, right now, if the electricity went out, right? First of all, unless the internet also went out, if the electricity went out right now, nothing would change for our live stream. It will continue because I have a backup to this computer, right?
Agreed.
I wouldn't have to say, hey, Gray, I got to leave for a second because it's only 2 degrees outside and I have to go, make sure that my heater's working. No, I know that my heater is going to continue to work because I've got a backup for it. I've got my heater hooked up UPS to one of the 7,500 solar generators that I've reviewed, right? So I don't have to worry about that. Right now, if you said, oh my goodness, AP, breaking news coming in, all of the supermarkets in the world just disappeared. They're no longer there and the food is all gone. I'll be like, okay, that's good to know. Okay. But I'm going to be okay. And my family will for probably about the next year or so. So it'll give us time to think about what we're going to do next once that year is up, if there's still no supermarkets around or no other way to get food. You know what I mean? I know I'm being a little hyperbolic by saying stuff like that, but just trying to get people to understand is that I don't really care what's going to happen or what will happen next because of this person's death. Because whatever happens, I believe I'm as best prepared as I can be for that scenario, right? There are some things that we will never be prepared for, right? No matter how well prepared you think you are. But for the basic things, financial collapse, I'm prepared. The lights go out, I'm prepared. A zombie apocalypse or a vampire rising, I'm prepared, for all these basic things. And, not trying to put the question to the side saying it's not important, but I mean, whatever happens, happens. If the dollar crashes because of it, so be it. If gold goes up, I don't care. Whatever happens, I know that we're going to be okay, at least for the immediate short term, if not for the longer term. I mean, I hope that's a good question because that's what preparing is for, is so that you don't have to always, wonder what's going to happen with this or that, especially something that's more speculative than anything else. If you want to prepare because you just found out that something is going to go up in price, like I told people a year ago, get your olive oil, right? Ray, I'm not sure if you remember, but I've said that so many times for like the last year and a half. Your olive oil is going to go up in price. Well, guess what? Olive oil has skyrocketed in price. And when I go into my pantry and I'm like, man, I've got a lot of olive oil. I'm like, yep. And guess what? I paid the price for it that it was 2 years ago, about 50% of what it is now. So I'm not sure if olive oil has gone up in price in your area like it has here, but man, it's gone up so much here.
No, it definitely has. Kind of going on the topic of tonight's live stream, or at least the title, kind of goes into what you're talking about, because evidently millions of people in Mexico City are just months away from running out of water. And when I read that thing, I started reading into it. There's 22 million people that live there. And I thought to myself, how many of those people are preppers? How many of those people are actually prepared for a situation that happens to arise because they've dealt with water issues in the past, and it's been a continuous issue. But now they're just months away from just literally being without water. They have sometimes in certain spots of there, they have like trickling water or barely any of it coming out. They're trying to do delivery service and trucking water in, but it's not readily available.
I'm sorry. Where's this at? I didn't hear when you said
Mexico City, 22 million people.
City. Okay, all right.
One of the world's largest cities.
Yeah.
Can be without water. They're just months away from being without water.
Man, I'll tell you what, that's some tough stuff there. Now, being without water or being without potable water, because those are two different things.
Well, from the videos and the information I saw, I'm assuming it's mostly drinkable water, because the fact that I think also some of the other water issues and sewer systems and stuff like that, because they're saying that even when they turn on like the wells and stuff like that around the city outskirts and stuff like that, some of the videos I watch, it's just barely dripping out of there. And of course, they're blaming it on climate change and some of the other stuff, and
Yeah, of
abnormally low
course.
rainfall, and
Yeah, it's
uh,
climate change. It's exactly
yeah,
what it is.
that's what it's all has to do. But the government has enforced severe restrictions on water usage. Um, to their water pumped in their reservoirs. Several neighborhoods have suffered from lack of water for weeks, and there's still 4 months left before the actual true rains come in, if the rains actually come in and subside this issue. But I thought to myself, because water is one of those essential things that we have to have in order to survive, even if it's non-potable water. If you have water filtration, let's say your gravity filters or some sort of
Yep.
filtration device, that's a life-saving type of piece of equipment in a situation like this. You know what I mean? I'm just wondering, out of those 22 million people, do you think there's at least 1% of them that might be prepared for situations like this?
Well, I mean, it's hard to say, but I would say maybe 1%. It's hard to say because I don't know what the Mexican culture is like. As far as what they think about preparedness, or about how if they wear rose-colored glasses, how much they trust the government and stuff like that. So I really don't know, but I would guess that it's not a very high number. And the funny thing is well, not funny. The tragic thing is that if they do go through a very tough period because of this drought they're going through, as soon as things get better, they'll forget all about it. And they still won't prepare. Most people don't. Most people, even though they go through a tragic period and they know that they should prepare, they don't, because recency bias, I guess. I don't know.
No, I can agree and relate to that, because look where I live. I live in Florida. How many hurricanes, how many tropical storms, how many things happen to this state, on a yearly basis or every few years and whatnot. And every single year it's the same crap. And I know sometimes it's that more people moving in, but people, we went through it. We had Hurricane Andrew. It flattened and demolished everything like a nuclear bomb would. But we're going to rebuild and forget about it. You know what I mean? It's like, sometimes I wonder, like, in my head, what did you learn from that? Because that's one of the situations I was in that woke me up, that made me take those rose-colored glasses off and be like, what the heck's going on? You know what I mean? And it really started me down this journey, because I never wanted to be put in that situation. I never wanted to be dependent on the government handing me free stuff. It was crazy. And that's 20 years ago. Almost 20 years ago this summer, it'll be since I woke up, per se, and became, in regards, deep dive into emergency preparedness.
Yeah, it's been less than that for me. But hey, listen, Minuteman 69 has a great question, and it's at time marker 327. If you want to look, 327, Minuteman 69.
This just tells me the time on here. Let me see if I can find it. Minuteman. Oh, here we go. Found it.
You got it? Yeah, that's a great question, isn't it? And the reason that's a great question is because I have a great answer for you. It's because the oceans haven't risen. I've done a video about this a couple of times in the last years, and during that video, I actually showed proof that the water levels have not risen. And the way that I showed proof is that I took a picture of Ellis Island from, I think it was 1920, right? And then I took a picture of Ellis Island recent. I think it was 2023. I think I did a video about that early last year. And the water levels had not risen. It was still the same. I put a picture side by side. And then I went around the world. I think it was to the London Bridge. Oops, sorry. But I took a picture of the London Bridge from back in like 1920. And I took a picture of the London Bridge from the present. And guess what, Gray? The water level had not risen there either. So it's because, the water level is not rising. And it's because I'm going to try to keep it short on this, because I don't want to, I don't want to punish Gray's channel for what I think. But it's because what is and has been called global warming, climate change, erratic weather events, whatever they call it next, it's all not your fault, ladies and gentlemen. It's not the fault of the people who live on this planet. All of this has been a hoax. It has been a hoax in order to deprive you of your wealth. In the last couple of decades that we've been going through this climate change ordeal, right? In the last couple of decades, the world has been stripped. Humanity has been stripped of tens of trillions of dollars. And they are still being stripped. We are still being stripped of tens of trillions of dollars. Take a look at Canada with their carbon tax. Take a look at how much meat costs in Canada because it has a high carbon footprint. So it is we, humanity, who have been paying the bill for all of this green stuff. Green this, green that, wind turbines, solar. We have been paying the bill through taxation of one way or another. And what is taxation besides it being theft? It is the taking of your labor. So having said all that, Grey, would you think that it's plausible to think that after tens of trillions of dollars that we spent on green energy, that today we use less oil as a world than we did 10 or 20 years ago? Would you think that that's a plausible statement, that we use less oil today after spending tens of trillions of dollars on green energy?
You would assume, right?
You would assume, but no, that's not the fact. We use more oil today, or we used more oil last year than we did 10 years ago, than we did 20 years ago. And guess what? It's estimated that next year we're going to use more oil than we did this year as a world. So what are they doing with all of those trillions of dollars that they have taken from we the people of the world in order to fight this climate change? I don't know what they've done with it. I know that they've done a lot of failed projects. They haven't been able to keep up with the grid when it's been needed the most during inclement weathers. I know that they kill a lot of birds every year with these wind turbines. And I know that after these wind turbines fail and they have to recycle them, do you know what they use them for, Grey, when they recycle the wind turbines?
I've the wind turbine blades. I've seen they've made these massive landfills. It takes a long time.
Anymore. Not anymore.
Oh, what are they doing now?
You know what look this up too. I'm not making this up. They grind them up and they use them to burn a fire, and they use them for energy. They burn fire to make electricity. That's what they use them for. Look this up, please. Don't take my word for it. They take the wind turbine blades that are made out of fiberglass. They chop them up into little pieces, and then they use them for like if it was charcoal.
That's insane.
So that's how we're saving the planet, ladies and gentlemen. This has all been a big boondoggle, and people have been bamboozled for decades now. And guess what? People are still going to go to airports. They're still going to find themselves in the runway, gluing their hands to the runway because it's going to save the planet. That's humanity for us now. Anyways, I digress. I stopped now.
You know, you're fine, brother. I wanted to say thank you to the couple of people that have done some live super chats and super stickers. And Johnny Finance, I wanted to keep this one up so you catch it. Thank you, Johnny.
They were $30 back then, man. You might remember that, Grey? When we could buy powdered egg for $30.
Those were the good old days, man.
I got a lot of those $30. And you know what? I've got a lot of the Nutrient Survival vitamin eggs back when they used to cost like $45. I have a lot of those too. Yep. And I'm glad that I do, because you know those hey, do you still have that deal going on, Grey, for your Nutrient Survival? Well, hey man, go ahead and plug that, man, because it's important that people know about this and that they stock up if they can. Go ahead and plug that.
Well, a lot of people know that I have my own bucket and landing page with Nutrient Survival, and there's a code, I think it's called Grey15, and you can save 15% off your Nutrient Survival purchases. I'm working on a video now to kind of break down what's in the bucket personally in my own video to share with you, my viewers. But the code is still valid. The code will still stay valid for quite some time as long as we can run this promotion. Plus, you get the GreyMan patch, and I wish I had one here, but Rudy caught me off guard because usually I have, but I have them set aside because I'm working on that video over the last couple of days.
Awesome.
But yeah, you can use that code. And I was going to mention that about Nutrient Survival. It's a veteran, you know, kind of like a veteran kind of based company. It's USA based and all that stuff like that. And people always complain, well, you know, it's kind of expensive. I'm like, yeah, but do you want to buy crap or not crap? You know, that's what I always think.
It's not. If you compare Nutrient Survival, if you compare it to Mountain House, as far as price, we're not even going to talk about nutrition. If you compare it to Mountain House, it's not as expensive as Mountain House. You may find maybe one product here that maybe it's a few pennies, but if Mountain House, and I love Mountain House, okay? I think that being diversified in everything is important, even food, freeze-dried food, everything. I have a whole bunch of Mountain House, okay? But
me too.
I would rather spend my money on something that's going to give me the nutrition that I need, that still tastes good, and that's actually less expensive than Mountain House. Mountain House has been doing shrinkflation, ladies and gentlemen. So they're now providing less product in the package, and they're charging either the same or more for that product that they're providing less of. Take a look at Nutrient Survival. They have not shrink their packages down. They are charging more, but it's still less than your big brands. And for those people out there, Grey, that want to spend $167 for a 8-week supply of some stuff that has absolutely zero nutrition in it, then go ahead. You have to do what you're comfortable with doing. But ever since I found Nutrient Survival, or ever since they found me, I haven't gotten anything else, because this is literally the very best freeze-dried food that there is, period, in every way. And that's my opinion, of course, and I'm biased. But I love this company. I love the people, and the food is awesome.
Yeah, I love it, man. I was just kind of scrolling over some of the stuff that I had.
Yeah, man, looks good,
man. But yeah, I thought, let me see, right up here. The patch is somewhere on this damn page, but I can't find it, of course, just because I'm looking for it. There are patches right there, but it's hard to see. It kind of gives everybody the folks. Yeah, I love the patch, man. I love the patch, but definitely a great thing. And I think it's really neat that it integrates with the channel and whatnot. Truly appreciate all the work they put into this. It's awesome.
Yeah, man, they have a great team over there. A great team.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Let me see here. I'm trying to go back to where we're at on this chat here. Happy Apocalypse Monday. Thanks, JT. Who's that redneck with the dog? Yep, that's me. Miss Worm, that is me, Miss Worm.
Man, look at that. Grey, Milo's Home Bike Shop says, I can't go without the Mountain House biscuits and gravy, though. Man, I'll tell you what, I've ruined myself from ever being able to eat biscuits and gravy, probably forever. And I used to love biscuits and gravy. What's the code again?
It's Grey 15. So the link and the code is down in the description of all my videos. Every video that I've released over the last couple of weeks, if you go down and it says save money affiliate links versus my Amazon store, and then it's the Nutrient Survival link right after that. And it has the link and Grey 15, the code and the information that you need if you're interested in getting some solid freeze-dried food for the apocalypse.
Hey, listen, man, Mary Pedersen at 338. Mary Pedersen at 328. Some of us just plain don't have any money. I want to say something about that. So that's true. Listen, 60+% of Americans, closer to 70% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. We are in a time during our history where more Americans are hurting than, in my opinion, any other time, even beyond that of the Great Depression. You see, during the Great Depression, you saw it every day in front of your face. Why is that? Every picture you see of the Great Depression and stuff like that, you see people in long lines to get food at a what do they call them? Soup kitchens and stuff like that. But we don't see that today. But today, those soup kitchen lines, or whatever they're called, they're still here, but they're a lot longer. These lines are about 42, 44 million people long. And what they are is SNAP. There's about 44 million people on food stamps in the United States. Those are the same people that during the Great Depression were in those lines to receive food. It's just now it's divvied out electronically. All right. So I understand there's a lot of people in the United States of America hurting, but you can decide to be a victim, or you can decide to be the kind of person that says, instead of saying, I can't have that because I can't afford it, you can be the person that says, I want that. What can I do to afford it? Do I DoorDash? Do I Uber Eats? Do I find what my kung fu is? Let's see, yarn preppers in the house. This here, and I use this every day. This is Yarn Prepper's Kung Fu. Yarn Prepper is one of the moderators, one of my moderators too. This is her Kung Fu right here. She loves doing these things, and she sells them. A Yarn Prepper, make sure that you put up your link to where somebody can get some of these, because they're awesome. I use them every day. But this is Yarn Prepper's Kung Fu. All right. I had a community member that a while back, I think this person left me a comment during one of my lives. And after me talking about the same thing that I'm talking about now, probably a couple of years ago or so, what I'm saying now, I pretty much said then. She left me a comment and said, I followed your advice. And instead of saying that I can't afford to prep, now when I drop my kids off at school, I do DoorDash for a few hours and I use that extra money to get prepared. So it's all about asking yourself, what can I do, instead of saying I can't do it, right? I understand everyone is in a different part of their lives. You know, if you're disabled and you can't take care of yourself, of course, you know, we can't say, well, you just stop complaining and go do it. No, you know, we understand all that, but not everyone is. So if there's something that you want to get out of life, and it doesn't have to be prepping items, anything, don't tell yourself you can't do it. If you don't have money, don't tell yourself that you're poor, because being poor is a state of mind. Being broke is just a condition. If you're broke because you don't have money, then go out there and do whatever it is it takes to make that income so that you can make your life better. But if you consider yourself poor, you're always going to be poor, because it's a state of mind. All right. I think that's all I have to say about that. I don't want people to give up. All right. Because whatever situation it is that you're in, you can make it through that situation. If it's just a matter of money, man, you can make money. You know, who was it? I forget the name of our community member who was in her, I think her early 70s. She loved pressure canning. And you know what she did? She started teaching, giving classes to the ladies around her neighborhood for $5 on how to pressure can. And guess what? A couple weeks later, she was giving classes to couples for like $25. So she was doing something that she really enjoyed doing. She was getting her community involved, and she was making a little bit of extra income. So ladies and gentlemen, you can do whatever you want to do. Maybe you can't become a professional basketball player, but you can make a little extra money so that you can become better prepared. And I'm not saying that so that you can make a couple extra bucks so you can buy something that I say that I think is good for you to buy, but so that you can have a better life altogether.
No, that's a great. You know, it's funny that you mentioned that. And this guy, these younger people that hang out in my shop sometimes, they had this Uber Eats guy come up to the shop and drop off some food for them. And the guy that walked through the door kind of surprised me. He was 74 years old, and I asked him that because he had an old veteran hat on and stuff like that. So we got to talking, and
that's awesome.
Yeah, and he had sat there and had a conversation with me for about 10 minutes. And he says, yeah, man, he's like, I get, I get my paycheck or whatever you want to call it from the government and my military benefits and stuff like that. He says, but I just wasn't happy. I wasn't satisfied. I wanted to get out and do something. Plus I just wanted some spending money. So I started doing this, and he kind of explained the breakdown. I was like, man, I give you credit, man. There's a lot of folks that are your age that say, you know what, I'm done. I'm going to sit myself in front of a TV and waste away. And I was just like very impressed. And I told him, I said, I appreciate thank you for your service. Thank you for what you do. And you are an inspiration to others. You know what I mean? I was just very surprised.
Well, I got a couple. You know what? I really like what we're doing today. We're like just hanging out with the people in the comments, you know, just chit chatting, not really getting too deep into anything. But if you go to 343 Miss P, 343 Miss P, I started buying one extra canned good a month.
That's the best way to do it.
That is awesome, man. I think that is great. That is great. Did you find that one, Miss P?
I'm trying to find it.
Well, it's on Mark 343.
You got a different. I'm looking at mine says times on here.
Oh, does it?
Oh, 3:43. Okay, I see what you're
like
saying.
3:43 p.m.
There it is. I found it. Thank you. Thank you,
Rudy. So that's great. Anybody can do it. Slow and steady wins the race. And can you go down one, Bob 67? Now, I mean, look, I'm not a Bible scholar by any means, but I mean, Didn't Noah and his family need stuff to eat while they were on the ark, fighting the waves? Again, I'm not a Bible scholar, ladies and gentlemen, but it's up to you. If you don't want to prepare and you want to put all your faith on God, on Jesus Christ, go ahead. That's fine. I'm not here to tell you what to do, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here to tell you what I'm doing, what I think is the right thing to do. The last thing that I would want is to see my children and my family starve. That's the last thing that I would want. So anyways, do what you want to do.
Absolutely. I get I run into situations like that too. A good friend of mine, he speaks a lot about the rapture
I'm
and stuff
sorry.
like that. But I'm always worried about everything in between, regardless of what's coming down the pipe, be it biblically or not. Um, because I do have faith in God and stuff like that, but I still
Yeah,
worry about other things in between certain
of
situations that
course.
may arise. Um,
Yeah, of course. I mean, you know, I'm not afraid of anything, right? I
mhm.
do believe in dying a good death and dying a bad death. To me, dying a good death would be that I done my best, and I know that if I were to go right now, that my family would be okay for the time being. That's to me dying a good death. I did my very best. My family will be okay. But to me, dying a bad death would be that I know that if at any time I were to have to go away, that my family's just not prepared for it, and that they will have to really struggle, because I consider it my responsibility to ensure that my family is okay while I'm here and even after I'm gone. So I'm going to do whatever I need to do to make sure that they're all right. And
Um,
Nostradamus has a great comment. I'm not going to tell you to look it up. It's at 3:44 p.m. But Nostradamus says, "But remember that you do not want to be a Bud Light spokesman or spokesman."
um,
I love it.
it's there's something I've been doing, right? So, and this is just what I do. I have a credit card, right? And some people are like, oh, I can't stand credit cards. So I have this one card, and I did my taxes, and I knew where I was going to get in my income tax. So I started using some of the money pre-income tax because I was doing this major prepper pantry haul that I want to add to because things were on sale. So I decided to buy these things, knowing that I'm going to use some of my, or a good chunk of my taxes that I get back on my return to put into the prepping, because that's usually what I do every year is I take a big chunk of my income tax and I put it into the pantry or things that are lacking that thereof of regards to preparedness equipment or whatnot. But usually I focus on food and stuff like that. And when I talk to people about, hey, what do they talk about their taxes. Oh, it's tax time. I'm doing this and that. And most people tell me they're going to go out and buy a washer and dryer. They're going to go out and buy a TV or an Xbox or this and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. You know what I mean? I said, do you ever think about this and this and that? And they're like, why would I want to buy that? You know what I mean? Like when it comes to food or, some sort
Mhm.
of emergency preparedness gear. And I'm like, I don't know. I just think it's a smart choice. Because what is an Xbox going to do for you in the apocalypse other than possibly entertain you? But if there's no power, then
Yeah.
what? You know what I mean? It's just maybe my way of thinking is different than others versus what I feel is important versus what other people feel important. Um, and some people say, well, why don't you just take some of that income tax and just save it, for a rainy day? I mean, I've been doing that for a long time. So this is
It
just,
happens. I save a
yeah.
lot of money. It's in my pantry. It's just not in the form of dollar bills.
That's what I wish I could get across to some of those folks that are talking about these other things. Now I
Yeah, look
get
at
it.
that.
Someone might need a new car, or not a new car, but they need a car, they need this or that, something that's good that needs uh that is a necessity for them to make things meet, or to for an ends to a mean or means to an
Yeah.
end.
Look at that,
Uh
Gray.
oh, that's pretty. I
Isn't
like
that
that.
pretty?
Nice.
That's a Scottsdale. And
Nice.
it's a stackable. That
Very
was
cool.
that was last month's this was my last month's stack. There's months where I can't stack a lot. I just don't have it in the
Mhm.
budget. So I had enough to get me 4 ounces of silver. I got me 2 little Scottsdale. These are 2 ounces each. But yeah, I save, but this is how I save. I just don't save in fiat. I don't think it's very smart to save in a way where the value of what you're saving gets stolen from you on a daily basis, right? So yeah.
Minimus says, Rudy giving that away.
Not today. Hey, guess what? I just did my biggest prep of the year. I think I put that video out on Saturday, I think maybe. But you know, my Costco credit card.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Well, you get a rebate on your Costco credit card every year around February or so. And yeah, I got my rebate on my Costco credit card, and I went out and I did a little payday prep, and it was completely free. And some people will be like, "It wasn't free. You put it on." I'm like, "Yes, it was. I've never paid 1 penny of interest on that credit card, not ever since I've had it." And
You
you
have
know, the rebate, I actually ended up using the rebate, my wife and I, to do that payday prep, and then we ended up kind of like donating the rest of it to charity.
yeah,
So yeah,
you have to learn to play the system. You know what I mean? With the rewards points and the coupons and all that stuff like that, things can be so much cheaper when you learn to play the system against itself. And it's because you're exactly right. I have a thing set on this card that I use for preps, and it tells me this is what has to be paid so that you don't have any interest. So if I have to roll anything over, I will make sure that I make the specific amount of payment on that card
oh, nice.
so that I don't get the interest, and then I pay it off. Because usually I'm like you, I try to pay. I don't try to overspend. I try not to spend money that I do not have. So that I don't use a credit card in that instance. They're there for an emergency, but for preps, I always kind of spend in advance when it comes to the income tax thing. But and I'll be showing everybody that prepper haul, but it'll be in March because I have to set it up and video it and all that crap. But that's where I focus in on with extra money, is like you said, things that I find tangible that's going to be beneficial to me and my family outside of just, little weird things and stuff like that.
Hey, someone asked me, where can I get silver and gold like that? Who do you suggest? So it depends on how much you want to get. I recommend that first and foremost that you try to find a coin shop near where you live. Try to find a coin shop where you can go and build a relationship and become friends with the operators. Like Jerry and Dick, they're not just coin shop owners of Alaska Rare Coins. I consider them my friends. Sometimes I go in there just to talk. I don't buy a thing. Sometimes I just go in there to talk, say hi, how you doing? For Thanksgiving or Christmas, I usually bring them a ham or something like that. Once in a while, I'll bring them a lunch or a breakfast or something just to talk with them. Because why? Because they're my friends. I really enjoy their company, and I think they believe the same of me, right? So find a coin shop that you can trust, and then do business with them, right? Because if I go to the coin shop, whatever I buy, be it this or anything else, I already know I don't have to test it, because I really trust those guys. And I trust that if I ever have to sell my stuff back to them, that I'll get an honest deal, that I won't have to haggle with them. They'll treat me the right way. But if you don't have a coin shop near you, you can go to a few different places, depending on how much money you have. If you have a whole bunch money that you want to spend on gold and silver, I'm going to go ahead and plug who I work with. Go to any one of my videos, and you'll see that I have ITM Trading there and Genesis Gold Group there. They do the IRS thing where they roll that over, but you can also buy just physical, right? If you're only looking to buy a few ounces, maybe 5 ounces, 10 ounces, something like that, something small, go check out SD Bullion. I have them as well. Those are all, in my opinion, good sources to where to get them. However, don't only look at those 3 sources that I provide. Go ahead and match them up with 4, 5, 6 other sources that you find somewhere else, and see which one you like the best. Because the ones that I recommend may not be the best fit for you. So don't just look at the stuff that you find on one channel or that one person recommends. Look at many of them. All right. Competition is the best thing for the consumer, because it makes sure that the consumer is getting the best quality for the lowest price. That's what competition is good for. All right. So go take a look at them. And if you end up, I'm not a financial advisor, I have to say that because I'm on the internet, but this is what I would recommend if I were. If you end up purchasing something from an online store, your first purchase, I would say make it a very small purchase. Like I remember my first purchase of silver over the internet. It was with Provident Metals, I think. It was years and years and years ago. And I purchased enough silver through them so that I didn't have to pay for shipping. I think it was like $110 because they had $99 free shipping. So that's what I did. I had a good experience. You know, I made sure that everything that I got was real. You know, my first purchase was some junk silver. It was a good experience, and then I continued until I came upon Alaska Rare Coins. Ever since then, I've bought 99.9% of all PMs that I've ever gotten from them because I trust them.
No, it's very smart. That's what I do too. Is I have a local guy that I've built a relationship with, and I've learned that a lot of other folks that I talk to that have the same mindset also use the same person I use here locally. So if you're in Brevard County and you need silver or gold, email me. I'll tell you where to go. I saw Forrest talking about batteries or something like that, and I always try to find batteries on sale, but I've learned that, believe it or not, Amazon, they're subscribe and save. I save a ton of money, and I get batteries every 3 months, big old shipment of batteries, just to add to the stockpile that I have. I don't know if anybody else does that.
You know, I've tested the batteries at Costco, you know, the Kirkland brand.
Mm-hmm.
Those batteries are great. They come with a 12-year shelf life. And as far as I'm concerned, they're just as good as the Duracells. They're a little bit less expensive than the Duracells, but they're not cheap by any means because batteries aren't cheap anymore. You know,
not at all. I've learned something going through, you know, just because I'm that type of guy that researches and goes these rabbit holes. But Amazon Basics, like their batteries, are technically a major manufacturer's batteries, and they just they pay this company to wrap it with Amazon Basics, and they sell them cheaper, even though that manufacturer may sell them more expensive on the site. And it goes with a lot of the Amazon Basics stuff. I know some people don't like using Amazon because, you know, Jeff Bezos and all, but you know,
it is what it is, man.
Yeah, that's how I look at it. If it's going to make it convenient, then I'm going to use it. You know what I mean? At least while everything is running smoothly, right?
Yep.
Because eventually one day it will be there.
Minuteman69 asked, what are Buffalo Head nickels worth? As far as I'm concerned, unless they're a numismatic coin, they may be worth, you know, a good amount. I have no idea about numismatics very much, but if for them to be worth anything as far as the metal content, it would have to be a nickel that was minted in the U.S. between or from 1943 to 1945, I believe. And that's the only time that the nickel has ever had silver content in it. And that silver content would be 35%. And the reason they did that is because during the war, they needed zinc, during the war, they needed nickel more than they needed silver. So they took the nickel out of the nickel and replaced it with 35% silver for those 4 years, I think, 43, for those 3 years, 43, 44, 45. So those are the only ones that I know of that have any value as far as the metals in them.
Ellie, just to answer your question really quick, too many to even count. I just, because there's so many different things that I use battery for, be it headlamps and radios and weather radios, even though I have, it's just always good to have, you know what I mean? Especially with the shelf life, and you know, if you know how to take care of them well. I mean, I stockpile batteries just because I live in Florida, and I'm one of those nice people that I got friends that may not prep, and I try to help them out in regards to stuff like that. So I'll pass out
in case
pack of batteries.
In case someone missed my prepping on the cheap video that I did, I think it was last week. You need to go check this out. This is a great deal. This is a you know, one of those battery packs.
Yeah,
you know,
I ordered that.
Like, yeah. So this guy right here, and Mario, you know, Mario 123, he's the one that sent me the link to this. He was like, look at this. They have this on sale. It's a great deal. This is a 43,800 milliamp battery pack, right? That you can charge your phone and your tablet with, right? That comes up to about 216 watt hours. All right, 216 watt hours. I think I paid $36 for it. Right?
You know, I bought that one. You know how much I paid for it?
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Well, after I watched your video, I bought it because I wanted to get the kid one.
How much was it when you got it? Because I know the prices change a little.
Mine was free.
Oh, because of your points?
Yep.
Right. Well, no, the price I paid for this one. No, you know what? I think when I bought it, it was like $44, but when I did the video, it was like $36. It was even less.
Just gotta keep an eye on it.
$36. Yeah, $36 for 218 watt hours. And that's what 43,800 milliamps converts to in watt hours. That is a great deal. And believe it or not, this little guy right here, it will actually keep your lights on. They actually sell those light bulbs with strings that plug into a USB that will actually keep your lights on for what, less than $40. It's a great deal.
I agree. I think Ellie, link for what, Ellie? You talking about what Rudy's talking about? Because if you're talking about Rudy's thing, it's on his channel in his description under the video that he did.
You would have to go to my channel and go to the playlist Prepping on the Cheap. I think this was the last Prepping on the Cheap video I did, and I left the link for it there.
I wanted to mention something because we never get to these, Rudy, these viewer questions.
We're already at an hour, man.
Yeah.
Hey,
and
Grey,
we didn't get to
Grey. Just a second. I'm sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, can you let me know how I'm doing today and allowing GreyMan Prepping to get his fair share of talking time? Please give me a 1 for a good and give me a 2 for you can do a little bit better, AP.
Oh, I can't wait to see this, man. And while you guys are doing that,
brother. Go ahead.
While you guys are doing that, so what I've done, Rudy, is so Marilyn had wrote a comment that said, I liked your suggestions on prepping books in print to keep on hand. So instead of asking that question, instead of answering that question, I did a video, and that's the last video that I dropped. So some of these questions you guys have, what I might do is just literally do a video on that topic. There's a few of these things that I've read that make sense that, you know what, since we don't get to it, I'm going to do a video. So Marilyn, I think you did comment on that video that I titled The Best Prepper Books to Have. And I just thought that was just something for me to do to help other folks out, because maybe some other folks out there have the same question that you have in regards to prepping books. Rudy, you're looking bad, man.
Man, things are not looking good. That's it. I was going to show you all Lulu. I was going to bring Lulu on here and have her say hi, but now forget it now. She can just stay over there napping.
Oh, God, I love it,
I'm sour now, man. I'm sour now. You guys want to see Lulu? You want me to take a minute so Lulu can? She just woke up from a nap.
Bring her up, man. See if she's going to give you some kisses today.
You want to come say hello? Come on.
Oh, man.
Oh, here you go.
But folks, I do have all your questions written down, and I do save them, the ones you guys leave in the comment section.
You want to say hello? Look, say hi. You want a little treat? Look, here you go. Look how big she is. She's getting huge. Look at that. And you know what she's doing now? She's I think she's potty trained now. She goes by the door and whines when she has to go out. So say hi, Lulu. Say hello. You don't know what you're looking at. You want to go back to the chair? All right, come on. Go on. There you go. Here.
And some of these I just mark off because we've already went over them. But some of them would take a lot longer to go over.
Yeah, she's going to be a pretty girl. She is such a good-looking dog, and she's supposed to have Rottweiler in her. She's supposed to be, she's supposed to be a mix of Rottweiler and Alaskan Husky. I'm like, to me, she looks like a lab. Like, I don't see any, the only Rottweiler that I see in her is her paws, her legs and her paws. But other than that, to me, she looks like a black lab. But she's a good little girl.
That's awesome. Yeah, I wish mine would have stayed small.
Yeah, that's what we all wish.
He's God, he's only a year and a half, and he's just monstrous. Huge dog. But he thinks he's a lap dog. But
oh, they all do, man. They all do.
But I love him. You know what I mean? You gotta pets are like part of the family, you know?
Yeah, everyone's like, I thought she was a lab. Yeah, that's what I thought she was when I first seen her. Look,
yeah, we didn't even get to go. We only I think we only covered like 2 out of the 5 topics that I had.
That's all right, man. As long as we had a good time. Did everyone have a good time during this live so far? As long as everyone had a good time, that's all that matters, man. Unless the world is falling. If the world was burning or something like that, then okay.
Oh man.
Oh, Salty Dog says, "What is my put on goldbacks? What do I think about goldbacks?
Like the ones that like Nevada and Utah are doing, I think.
Well, goldbacks are. Let me go grab some. I got some over here.
Because I've been investing in them myself. I thought they were pretty neat. Regardless, I like them. I've been
Yeah,
ordering them through. I think there's three or four states that are doing it. Rudy.
I don't remember who these are. Some I got some others, but these are the ones I have that are readily available. Now these bills, these actually have gold in them. I believe that a $1 gold bag has, what is it? One 2,000th of an ounce, 1/2000th of an ounce of gold. I think. No, 1/1000th of an ounce. $1 has 1/1000th of an ounce of gold in it, real gold in this. Okay. So the only problem I have with these, the only problem that I have is that the premium is astronomical. Before I buy these, I'd rather buy me a few silver coins or some junk silver. That's it. But as far as where there are states and there are cities where they freely trade these, and like you can go to the supermarket and buy your groceries with these, I think it's great because that's the free market. That's the free
Absolutely.
market saying, hey, I would rather spend this. I don't care what the premium is. That's great. Lulu, what's the matter? Come here.
Yeah, you got Utah, Wyoming, New Hampshire, Nevada, South Dakota. Just a few of the states that you can actually use those in. Utah was the first state. I thought it was pretty neat, man. I'd like to see more of that and more states follow along suit. Um, but it's like Rudy said, the premium and whatnot.
Yeah, the premium is just very high on them. But like I said, if people want to trade them freely, by all means, man, it's a lot better to have that system going on now than to try to develop that system of trading them for goods and services after everything collapses, right? Lulu.
Hey, Rudy, do you remember when I gave away, what did I give away? 25 ounces? Was it 25 ounces I gave away for my 10,000?
So.
Something like that. I've been thinking about if I ever reached 100,000 subscribers, I was thinking about doing something with gold. What do you think?
Hey, man, it's up to you. Just let me know when the live is, when the giveaway is, so I can be there. I'll have to have like I'll open up all of my YouTube accounts. Make sure I'm subscribed with each of them.
I was pitching it to the wife, and she's like, "Oh, how long do you think it'll take you to get to 100,000?" I said, "Probably a couple years, maybe. Hopefully, if everything doesn't collapse in the meantime." But I thought it'd be a good idea. What do you guys think in the chat? Do you think a giveaway if we ever hit 100,000 subscribers on my channel, giving away some gold? Since we did silver at 10,000, why not do 100,000 and give away some gold?
Man, I'm still getting like 1.5s and 2s.
Are you still getting those? Really?
I'm telling you, man. Your people are tough. Okay, your people over here are tough.
And Minuteman says, "Give away the gladiator." Minuteman, I'm working on that gladiator. Eventually, that gladiator is going to make its own. It's going to have its own video.
No, I can't let her outside. I won't let her outside unless I'm out there with her.
A new car at 100K. Force it at 50K.
What do you want?
50,000, then 100,000. I've been thinking about when I reach 50,000 because it's not too far around the corner. What do I want to do for 50,000 subscribers? And I got some ideas. I might be able to throw in maybe a tenth of an ounce or something like that in there. I don't know. We'll see. It's all up to you guys.
Hey,
the more you share,
if you want, I can probably get Dick over at AK Rare Coins to make you a 1/10 ounce Alaska gold coin of gold that was mined here in Alaska.
I'm game for that, brother.
Yeah, I'll just let me know.
You invoice me or have him invoice me, and I'll buy it. I think that'd be cool. Amazing Grandma says, "Well, duh, yes to gold." And then there's some other things. I've been making a list of things that I want to give away on certain, milestones that I achieve on the channel. Even though YouTube's only going to give me a silver play button, like Rudy has back there behind him.
Yeah, man, you'll get yours, man. You'll get it eventually. It's just a piece of plastic, by the way.
Is it really?
Yeah, there's no. Hey, what are you doing? Don't be biting that.
Oh man,
biting my shirt.
People put so much blood, sweat, and tears in their YouTube channel, and they get a piece of plastic. Such a shame.
Yeah. The main reason why I got that is because I don't know if you remember seeing it. but it doesn't say Alaska Prepper on there.
Really?
It says Alaska Prepper Community. Because you can put whatever you want on there. You can put your actual real name if you want on there. But
No
on
way.
there, I had them put Alaska Prepper Community because I figured it belongs to the community more than anything else.
Absolutely. That's a great idea, man. That's very, very kind of you, man. Because it is. Without the community, we wouldn't exist. Without them watching our videos, we wouldn't exist. I mean, that's pretty interesting.
Come on, let me let you out. Just a second. Let me see if you'll go out on her own.
Platinum at 75K, gold at 100K. Thanks for the suggestion, Miss Worm. I'll have to. I'm gonna write down these suggestions and go back and see. But we'll do something. It takes seeds or silver, Gray. I'll take seeds or silver. Thank you, Teresa. I do have a pretty good stockpile of seeds. I've had seeds
I do too.
Yeah, I've had seeds donated to me as well that I gave away a while back. Yeah, you know, we'll do a giveaway here soon enough. We're pretty close to 50,000. I mean, Rudy's always pushing my dang channel anyway, so eventually we'll get there.
Yeah, it'd be nice to win a little bit of silver from your channel, being that you've won so much from this one.
Absolutely, man. I cherish that crap, man, because it's from you and from your channel, man. It's like I won't even give that away. That's non-tradable, non-giveaway stuff. You know what I mean? Outside of all the other crap that I have.
Oh wow, Miko Wolf hasn't seen the gold price in a little bit. Last time you looked, it was 1900. I think today I think it was like 2030 or something like that today.
2030.90.
There you
right
go.
Now.
Yeah.
I keep it on the front of my phone. I keep gold and silver on the front of my phone.
Oh, cool.
Silver's at 22.49. That's pretty cheap right now. Not too bad.
Silver under $30 is a steal.
Absolutely.
It is a steal. So well, hey, Gray, I got to get going, my friend.
Me too, man.
We're at a little bit over an hour, about an hour and 12 minutes. So this was a great live stream, man. I really like the way this went. A lot of interaction with the community members here. So,
yeah, I always appreciate the folks that take the time out of their evening to come and hang out with us and that jump back and forth between our channels. Again, if you are new here, let us know down in the comment section. And don't forget, if you haven't been following Alaska Prepper, his link is down in the description. So don't forget to subscribe there, because next Monday we'll be on his channel. Same time, same place kind of thing. You know what I mean? And maybe we'll actually get a chance to get through some more of the topics that I had.
Yeah, we will. Have a good night,
stuff,
ladies and gentlemen. Have a very good night. Thank you very much for being here.
Yeah, I appreciate it, folks. And remember, folks, you are not alone. This is GreyMan and Alaska Prepper. We'll catch you on the rebound. God bless. And thank you guys for watching.
God bless America.
Thank you, man.